Here we go. Back again here on Sports Chat.
Everyone's always right for an upset in the first round because those teams that they're playing are conference champions.
If somebody can afford to pay me $120 million, how much money you think they got?
Well, here we are back again here on.
They're playing our conference champions.
Here we are back again live on this Saturday morning here on Sports Chat. Johnny John, what's going on, fella?
Man, oh man, do I have some stuff to get off my y'all forgive me. I'm headed back home. I had to run and drop something off for my daughter, so I'll be settling in my dining room in just a few moments. But man, oh man. Do I have some stuff to get off my chest
You got
about
some
that?
stuff on your chest.
Oh my God, bro.
You need some cod liver oil to get it off your chest.
Oh my God, man.
To get it off your chest. It's burning. It's been burning a hole. All right. Well, of course, we want to say Happy New Year to everyone. This is our first Saturday since the New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. We pray you have a blessed 2025. Lots been going on. Football everywhere. We're down to the last two in the CFB college football national championship tournament playoffs. First year of the 12-team format. I guess it's been okay. I mean, you know.
Nah.
I really have it ain't you know.
Too many. Been some bad games.
Well, and that was expected though in my book, pretty much.
8 games would have been enough. Too many.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have what? Still to have some blowouts.
I mean, did SMU did they belong in the playoffs? Did Boise State belong in the playoffs? I mean, come on, bro. This was
Boise State won the conference, so
yeah, but it's a trash conference. What's left of the conference?
When you come, I feel if you come from a lesser conference like the ACC, and you don't win your conference, then you don't need to be in it. But when you got 12 teams, what you gonna do?
There are essentially 2 conferences that matter: the Big Ten and the SEC.
Well, and again, though, really, we say that conference wide, but team wise, each conference probably got 2 good teams.
Yeah.
You know I mean, championship caliber team, I should say.
Well, I expect Michigan to be back in the championship caliber mix this coming season, but just 2. I thought 8 teams would have been the perfect number. You don't need bye weeks. You know, I like the cool aspect of having the ability to host a college football playoff game. That was kind of unique and that was kind of cool.
I think, but what it went that, like you were saying, if it was 18, then that should be the reward for winning your conference.
Yeah, I mean, well, if it was 8 teams, they would play the original bowl games, you know, the Rose, the Orange, Sugar, Fiesta, you know what I'm saying? Which would allow you to keep all the other bowl games intact and just make those bowl games your 18 playoff. But obviously, you know, the thought of the excitement of having those home games, plus, you know, it's always about revenue. So, it's cool. I just,
you just added another week of football, really.
Yeah. Now that part of it, I do. I mean, one of my most depressing days is the end of college football. That's just like, because then you think,
But
man,
now,
I've
I
got
mean,
to.
because really, but now there's really only one Saturday without it. The way it's set up now, because of your conference championship. So
Yeah,
that week,
yeah.
that week before Christmas,
Well,
or
I don't
2 weeks
know what it.
before,
Yeah, but I don't know what it is about. It just seems it goes by. You blink, the season
and it's
starts
over
in
with.
September, and you blink, and it's November already. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's just like,
yeah, yeah.
hey,
Yeah, and
ah,
the best part about it though, when it comes to college football, is you can't afford to lose. Really, you
not.
really
I
can't.
mean, well, it depends. Now with this 12-team playoff, you're eventually going to get a team in with 3 losses. Is that what we
Yeah,
really
you
want?
may, huh?
Is that what we
Yeah,
really want?
I mean, uh, in most cases though, it'll show up when you get to the playoffs.
Well, think about
Yeah.
if they would have let Alabama in with those three
They would have
losses.
got beat. They would have got beat. They weren't that good this year.
They
Bottom
weren't
line.
that good. I don't think they're going to be that good going forward. It's just like, okay, you're back to what you were prior to Nick Saban, run of the mill SEC team, and then
Well,
now,
you know the thing about it is this transfer portal and NIL has changed the landscape for everybody,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because uh these kids that have been told they were the greatest all their life, they're not gonna want to sit, they're gonna want to play. And so you sit me as a freshman, I'm going as a sophomore.
Well, that's the thing with with programs like Alabama. I
Yeah.
mean, you could
When they
look
had
at they
when you had two
stockpiling
teams.
players.
Yeah, when you can have two teams from that one school and be competitive.
Well, you got you got 5 stars that were 3 and 4 on the depth chart. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you can't stockpile because the transfer portal has evened the game. Where it's just like,
And
look,
not only that,
play me
and not
or
only
I'm
that,
leaving.
the fact that I can leave and make me a little money, I'm out.
Make money,
And so
leave, not have
yeah,
to sit out a year like we used to if
yeah,
we wanted to transfer. I
yeah.
mean, it's the great equalizer. And so that I think Nick Saban saw the handwriting on the wall and he said, all
Well,
right,
now
I'm a bounce.
and here's the thing though, John. Okay, uh, you can't do nothing about the landscaping, but now you got a coach. Coach.
Well, yeah, I mean,
It,
I think
it,
now it's a situation where you have to coach. You can't just sit back and just let things go. It's a different game. In many ways, I like it, and in some ways, I'm like, the traditionalist in me still would like the preservation of the rivalry games, and but look, I
yeah, I
realize
think that's
change is
I
change.
that along with everything else, uh, along with it being more parity, your rivalry stuff is kind of going. That's going to have. That's just going to be a thing between individuals, really now.
That to me, that is the most disheartening. I can almost deal with everything else. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I can deal with the transfer portal. I can deal with NIL. I'll even deal with when you diminished. It's just like some stuff just should not be for sale, man. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like everything has a price tag, and
yeah, yeah.
I don't. I just, uh, yeah. I'm out here in the snow.
But and that's the truth though. Everything has. I mean, the fact. Okay, let's just take. Let's just look at it this way. Here you have Ohio State, who's not even a Big Ten championship, but they're getting ready to play for the national championship.
Yeah, yeah.
And they lose to Michigan, but Michigan's home watching them.
And that game used to be that would ruin your season. You know what I'm
That was
saying?
the end of. Here's the worst part about it though too, John. That used to always be for the Big Ten championship before
Yeah.
they went to the championship game.
And so what we got now? 18 teams in
So,
the Big Ten?
so, yeah, 18 is it 18? Yeah, it's 18. 18.
Well, I don't know, man. It's just I used to I'm a traditionalist, man. I'm sorry. It's just to me, it's just too I don't like change for change sake. And this this season has taught me that some of these changes were totally completely unnecessary. And,
Yeah,
but
it opens your eyes. It opens your eyes to a lot of things, a lot of change, and there's nothing wrong with change, but do you have to be so drastic all the time?
well, not only that, do you have to why why aren't there deal breakers? There should be certain things that are just untouchables, man. I mean, just again, I don't. If let's say Michigan, let's say Ohio State beats Michigan, right? They go to the Big Ten championship to face Oregon, and
Right,
then in the playoffs face Oregon.
right.
I'm like, who wants to play the same team three times in one
Yeah,
year?
yeah, yeah. No, it's true. But then they, and eventually they probably would have played them later though, because they would have been a different seed
Yeah, it would have been a different
after that.
seed.
Right.
They probably
But
would have been the
again, like
number
you
one
said,
overall.
yeah, yeah. And you have that possibly happening though, right? It could have happened with Texas and Georgia, perhaps too, right?
I'm
So
thinking we kind of dodged a bullet this year, but I think that's going to happen.
yeah,
Um,
eventually it will. Yeah, eventually it down the road it will happen.
yeah,
It's because it's impossible not to,
I'm not
right?
cool with that.
Especially with the if you're coming out of the big and the SEC, one of these years you're going to play somebody three times with this format playoff, no doubt.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, but here's the kicker though. It depends. It may only happen though with like a Michigan and Ohio State, because the scheduling is so different now too. Uh,
Yeah,
they will do their best. The Big Ten will do their best to keep that Michigan Ohio State game in season. But
but
other
this,
than that, you don't know who you're gonna play really.
well, I'm saying it's like, let's say that happens where you have Michigan and Ohio State meeting, and obviously they meet there the last game of the season, last week of the regular season. Then, right 7 days later, they're in Indianapolis,
Right.
which means that the first game will basically be you'll probably be resting players in that first game, because the Big Ten championship will be the following week, and that would be the most important game. And
Yeah,
so
eventually it'll get to that.
I
Yeah.
just can't dream of a scenario where players are resting in the Michigan, Ohio State. That is just like anathema to me, man. That's
Well,
blasphemy.
and then I guess that hit at the end of the day, the schools have to figure out what's more important to them, right?
They already
What?
show what's more important. It's money.
Well, they show wasn't. I'm saying game wise, they had to choose where they
It's
want to
dis-
make their money, I guess.
it's disgusting. It's
So
it's literally disgusting.
they don't care. They don't care nothing about you and your big pizza party on that day.
No, no, apparently
No,
not. I mean, It, it's
no.
it's it's how this country. It's not just sports, but it's just how this country operates. It is any anything to maximize profit. And regardless of what closely held traditions are in play, they will run roughshod over anything to maximize profit. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred. That
Well,
game was
I'll give.
sacred.
Yeah, well, and again, it was a thing for is a thing for us, right? That was our bragging rights thing. So they're taking away our fun, is what they've done, right?
Yeah, I mean, you even I mean, all around, even with like the Michigan State game, the Ohio State game, whoever lost those games, you had to sit on it for 365
Yeah,
days.
right,
You
right,
had to sit on it. And
right.
now you and so I mean, listen, I understand that times change, things evolve. You know, you had 8-track tapes that went to cassettes that went to
Now just downloading.
CDs, DVDs, and now everything is done. I get it. Times move, times change. But some
Still
things,
remain. Still should remain.
especially in a sport that is as that it's called the last week. It's not just Michigan Ohio State. The last week of the season is called rivalry week for a
Oh, you
reason.
see that Saturday
Alabama
when
Auburn.
when
You
you
had
got when you had Alabama, Auburn, you had Oklahoma, Nebraska on, you had Ohio State, all on the same day.
oh my
One after
god.
it was awesome. Used to be awesome.
Uh,
Cold
oh,
outside.
what's that song? If I could turn back the hands of time.
and the thing was, and that was it. Nobody was worried about the first Saturday in December.
No,
It was over
man.
with,
Oh
right?
well. Oh
And
well.
then but I used to get me though the long layoff from November to January almost of not playing. That was crazy to me.
Oh well. I'm
So
done.
and now and so well and okay then what's your feeling on Notre Dame situation as an independent?
Well, I
Should they
mean,
should they what should their affiliation be? They're not affiliated with nobody.
well, I
They
think
they get to keep they get to keep all their money.
yeah. I mean, they punished them as much as they could. I mean, if in the 12-team playoff, if you are an independent, you can be no higher than a 5 seed because you have
Yeah,
the top 4 seeds go to
right.
the power
Conference
conference
champion.
winners, and
Yeah,
obviously so. But they showed, hey, it don't matter. We can make the championship anyway. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. They they,
Um,
they they did it on the field.
so they did it on the field. And so they earned their way in. So if they are okay with being no higher than a 5 seed every year, then cool. That's up to them. They if because if they can they have no conference revenue sharing, they can keep every
They they they
dime
they're
of
gonna make 21 million
yeah.
to their own
So
coffer. It's all
so
theirs.
it's all theirs, and so
Yeah.
that's fine. That's that. Listen, I don't have a problem as long as you're willing to pay that price. As long as you're willing to not be more than a 5 seed and have to you. I mean, I don't know who were their opponents this year.
Worth any? You mean worth mentioning?
Yeah, who did
Well,
I'm
everybody
saying?
know they lost to. We know
Well,
they
the
lost
Northern
to
Illinois, and then they didn't.
Northern
Then they didn't
Illinois.
lose. They didn't lose again.
Right.
No,
Then they won.
I meant their playoff opponents. Who
Oh, they play Indiana,
they played Indiana,
Georgia,
which was a fraud. Georgia, which was severely weakened because Carson
and
Beck
and Penn State, who you can argue is the
blew the game.
third or fourth best team in the Big Ten.
Blew yeah, and who blew the game by the way with that horrendous pick by Drew. I'm Drew. Can I?
We
Can
can't
we
we
close the
cannot
book on Drew
listen.
Allen, please?
Well, with the Drew Allen, but no quarterback is supposed to throw back to the middle of the field in that situation. I don't care
That's
if
horrible
you
quarterback technique. Throw the ball away.
that was just bad play. Throw it away. Throw it away.
Throw it
Don't throw
away.
it in the middle.
So they,
Oh, come on.
I, although I mean, and you want to talk about somebody that had a. If I'm Oregon, I'm really upset because look at Penn State's path to the Final Four. SMU and
Yeah,
Boise State. And I
yeah,
got the number one, even though I got to buy the first round, I got Ohio State.
yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Very
That
true.
was terrible. That was
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, yeah. Very
Now, I
true.
mean, not that you should necessarily try to avoid, because eventually, if you keep winning, you won't have to play Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? But right off the bat,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was horrible.
After a 2 or 3 week layoff too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was
yeah,
horrible.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was
Well,
horrible.
and it showed. It's showing, and it'd be interesting in the NFL as well. Most time those bye teams,
Come
either
out,
they come
Russ.
out slow, they don't get started to the second half, right? Or they're getting blown out by the end of the first half.
Which
Which
is
you
what
saw,
makes me a little nervous about the Lions, but that's
but I think though the Lions, the Lions is a mentality team though. You follow what I'm saying?
yeah,
They
yeah.
they carry all about themselves that we're coming to smack you. So
Well,
uh
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that mental mindset of them will help them not get blown in the early on, even with their layoff. I think it's it may because they're the type of team that they're probably sitting at home mad that they gotta buy because they're ready to play
Yeah.
now.
Well, I mean, if any team needs a bye, it's the Detroit Lions, just for health
For as far
purposes.
as health goes, yes.
I'm
Yeah,
hoping we can
yeah,
get David Montgomery back, but I don't know. I mean, the way Jameer Gibbs is running the ball,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
you might want to give him 25 touches per
Yeah, but
game.
again, that's just a plus if Montgomery comes back because you know that you don't really have to kill him, right? You can go
Yeah,
with Gibbs as
yeah,
much as you need, and then bam, smack Montgomery with for the hard stuff. So it's a plus
yeah.
for them.
It's the
What
Thunder and
about
Lightning.
who they getting back on the defensive side?
Well, I mean, they got I can never know how to pronounce his name. The white guy with the long hair. I'm on a road, whatever his name is. But that's about it. I don't think. I mean, Aiden is talking about, well, if we make the
Don't
Super
do it,
Bowl.
Ed. Don't sacrifice your career
So
for
I'm
that.
like, no, just sit it out, bro. You just
Get healthy, son.
you're healthy. Your long term investment is much more important.
Correct. Correct.
Um, but I mean, we have a total of 19 players on injured reserve.
No, no.
19.
It's been crazy.
The
But
fact that we were
the
still
the,
being
the,
able
the
to be
fact
competitive.
that what states well for you though is you had all those injuries. Uh, a lot of teams would have chalked it up and said, okay, well, our record is because of it, but you're still number one seed in the
Yeah.
NFC
Yeah.
and 15-2. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
let's go get the Super Bowl. Let's go get it.
I like that
Go get it.
we picked up the edge rusher Zadarius Smith. He had a sack. He had a couple tackles for loss. Almost had an interception if he would have caught. So I mean, we've had players step up. Brian Branch has been unbelievable as a second year defensive back. I mean, we've got some weapons, and it's mainly the scheme. I mean, when you have a great scheme, you can kind of plug and play players, and they'll fit right into the system. So, but I mean, against a team like the Bills, or you know what I'm saying, that got some for real offensive firepower, I just don't want to get into a
To shoot
scoring
out.
shootout with these guys, man. I mean, we
I
can
mean, but you
score.
guys, you guys can score with the best of them.
We lead the league in offense. We're the number one offense in the league. We score the most
I just,
points in the league.
I just hope Campbell don't do nothing crazy. That's all I'm worried about when it comes to
Well,
line.
man, I'm here's the thing with Campbell. It's like I don't like every decision that he makes, but I trust him because coaching, we can talk about it in his style, but coaching the way that he coaches is the reason why we're 15 and
Oh
2
yeah, no doubt,
and
no
the
doubt,
number
no
one
doubt.
seed. So I can't doubt him at this
For
point.
the state, you gotta you gotta put your persona aside though, Campbell. You gotta do what's best for the situation when it comes.
But I
Don't
think it's situational football has never been his forte. It's like we are going to buck conventional wisdom. We're going to do and it's worked to the point where it can be
well, yeah,
scary.
it's worked too much to his detriment because now he think he
Yeah.
can do all the time.
Yeah. Because it's just simple. I was like, one play, I was like, just punt the ball, Dan. Just
Punt,
you know what I'm
man, would you
saying?
punt the ball?
Just punt the ball. You
As a matter of fact, in the game last night, it was one situation. I think Sarkisian went for it. He should have went for it. Just get the 3 points.
or I mean, I'm so disgusted with that game. It just in terms of I don't know what and it all right, y'all. I'm no conspiracy theorist. I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories. But something seemed off with Quinn Ewers last night. It
He been
just
off all year. I'm
but it
not
just
since you went there with Quinn Ewers. I want to see Arch. Yours has not been. He
yeah,
hasn't
I
shown me
just
nothing to it. Last year they was bringing him up. He got hurt. He did show, and he didn't show me nothing all year. I'm sorry.
well, I mean, like a couple of those sacks that he could have evaded the pocket, but he was running right
Yeah,
into the.
I don't think he was 100% healthy either though.
I was like, it almost gave me point shaving feeling. Are you throwing this game for your because of your former team? It made me suspicious, man. Seriously. And I mean, I would never accuse a guy of doing that without concrete proof, but
But I mean,
it felt
I mean,
really weird.
then the scenario that sealed the game, right? Captain Jack, his former roommate, all that, I mean.
That was that was as crazy of a sequence that I've
Ooh.
ever
But
seen
I was
in
laughing because
football.
remember, Sawyer at one point saved the Michigan game before they, prior to them
Mhm,
losing it. Because remember, he
mhm.
had the interception down at the goal
Right,
line, remember?
right,
And
right.
ran it back about 40, 50 yards or so. Right. And then Michigan stopped them and went on to win the game. But yeah, Captain Jack got that big one last night.
I mean, because here's the scenario. Here's why it was so ridiculous. First of all, first and goal on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
1 yard line. You run it up the middle first plays. It didn't work. You got nothing, no gain on the play. So instead of just manning up and ramming that rod
Yeah.
until
Play big boy. Come
you do
on.
a toss sweep where you pitch the ball 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It
Yeah.
was just asinine. It was just
Oh,
an
and
asinine.
and on the far side of the field too, wasn't it? They
Where I
pitched it to
mean,
the far side.
you
Yeah.
gave them time to because you throwing the ball you throwing the ball
Yeah.
backwards.
You giving that safety or that corner time to come up now from off his
It
man.
was that was it was offensive. I'm
But
like,
I will say though, Texas lost, but they played a good zone defense when it comes to
Well, that's the
receiving.
thing. You held Jeremiah Smith. They're
3 catches.
all worth 3 catches.
Yeah. They
I
should.
mean, you can't
They may
waste an
shut him down.
opportunity like that because that's not
Yeah.
going to
No.
happen all
Yeah.
the time.
No.
That was the defense played well enough for Texas to. I mean, you're looking at a tie game, first and
Did
goal on the one.
John, do you remember, did Ohio State score or did they get a field goal when Tate dropped the ball in the end, going in the end zone on a slant? Did they score on that or did
Well,
they
they
get a
didn't because
3 pointer
they
from
scored
that?
28 last night, so they didn't kick any field goals.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. So they did score. Yeah. So I was thinking, did they score after that?
You
Couldn't
had
remember who.
Quinshawn Junkins scored twice.
Right. I think they scored on the run from Junkett, the first one, I think.
Junkins, yeah.
Or actually it was the second score. How did they get the second score?
I'm thinking it was
14.
Quinshawn
Well,
Junkins. Oh
14,
no. The second
14 was the
score
screen.
that was a screen right before. That was
Yeah.
another backbreaker last night. It's just
Yeah,
like
the screen.
29
75-yard
seconds
screen.
left.
75-yard screen.
But even let's say you go on that goal line. Let's say you ram it up the middle 4 times and they stop you for all four
Right.
times. You got them on the 1 yard line. It's a turnover on downs. You got
Yeah.
them on the 1 yard line,
Right.
as opposed to that scoop and score. You know what I'm saying? You still would have had a chance to play
Well,
good
both
defense, pin them deep, and get the ball back with 2 minutes left. It's just
both teams were kind of undisciplined when they got in the red zone, right? They started going backwards, right? Ohio State has some horrible penalties that hurt a few of their drives,
false
right?
starts.
Like offside. Same with Texas. They would move the ball, then they had 3 penalties in a row, right?
It was
offside. So it was crap. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
It
As
was
a coach,
extreme.
I was so frustrated.
It was extremely frustrating because that was a winnable. The defense, man, that high-powered offense
Yeah,
that we
they
saw the
manned up,
first 2 games,
and
they
especially coming
manned
out of
up.
halftime,
They
the third
manned up.
quarter, which has
They only
been
gave up
Texas
one
business.
They gave up one offensive touchdown the entire second half.
Yeah,
Should've- there's no reason for them
it
to
was
not
theirs
have.
for the taking. Yeah,
It was
theirs for the
there,
taking. But
and
then
now,
Texas offense has been suspect all year round anyway.
yeah, that Quinn.
Especially when they play good teams. I don't care. You score 50 against Central Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was.
They all you hear about Quentin Hewitt, he ain't done nothing all year.
They need to go on and march.
Do you know anybody in the Lions? Do me a favor, Detroit. Do me a favor. Will y'all just wear your Hawaiian blue shirts? We need all this black helmets. We don't need all that. Come out with those beautiful Hawaiian blue jerseys. Please do that for me. Please.
I don't know, man. I like the black, but I think
Nike's getting on my nerves.
It's kind of equivalent to when Michigan wears that all blue with the all
need
blue
all that.
pants.
Come out there. So, you talk about traditionalists. Let's get back to, come on, it's too much. You'll know who's coming out the tunnel.
Yeah, that was
that's what these guys. What's your identity? Like Oregon, what's your identity? Right, silver, yellow. What come on.
Oh my God, man! We should have won that Texas. I'm saying we like I'm a Texas fan.
Hook 'em.
All right, look, I was hook 'em horns last night. I tell people all the time, my 2 favorite teams are Michigan and whoever is lined up against Ohio State.
So I think it was AJ posted on his Facebook. He goes, well, I guess I won't be watching the Natty because the 2 teams I hate the most are playing.
Yeah. Oh, he despises Notre Dame. He can't stand. I'm saying, listen, I'm going to buy me a gold dome. I'm gonna get some four-leaf clovers. Go, go Irish. I mean, I don't like
Oh,
Notre Dame either,
me
but
either. Oh,
it's Satan, then it's Ohio State right after that.
that's funny.
In
He
that
said
in that
he
order.
said Satan and then Ohio State.
Satan first,
You,
Ohio
you,
State
you,
second.
you sure they're not Satan?
I've never seen both of them in the room at the same time, so
They got the Scarlet. I mean,
they got the Scarlet. Might be the same
Oh,
person.
that is funny.
Hey, listen, Adolf Hitler could field a team against Ohio State, and I would
And
root
you
for
would
the
root for them.
I would root for the Nazis.
Lord have mercy.
That's how.
Reminding folks, comments made on this show are not necessarily.
That's how much I despise that team from Columbus, Ohio. Ugh.
Wow, that's really going right there. That's really going
I
something right
said a
there.
lot, but yeah.
Hey, did you see if the 40-year-old left hand windmill dunk the other night?
Yeah, that was
I mean, come on. At 40, he doing that?
that's why that's I
Yo,
mean,
listen, I don't care. My team is we're not championship caliber, but yo, that was nasty. Okay.
well, I
That
just
that that was nasty coming from a young buck like Green or
yeah.
Cunningham or somebody. At 40, come
I
on.
mean, and got the looks where he could play another 2-3 years, man.
Yeah,
It's
at a high level for sure. At least
at,
two for sure.
at least, I mean, you averaging 23, 24 points a game,
Well, the thing
40
though,
years old.
John, the thing though, the thing about it though is you never know at what day or time the age gonna grab you.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
but
I mean, you know how you feeling spry this morning, sir, but tomorrow
oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure it takes him a little longer to
to get started,
recover and
to
get started. I
get that
mean,
engine started. Yeah, well,
that's just
that's just
father
natural.
time.
Yeah, there's some things that you just can't you can't avoid.
Yeah, but he's doing as much to defy. Somebody may say Brady, but the quarterback position
You
is
can't touch them really.
is very little contact. Yeah,
Right.
I don't.
Right.
What this to have to run
With
up and
quarter,
down the
and
court?
yeah, and with quarterbacking is your the key is your footwork and your arm strength, right?
Yeah,
What passes can or cannot make.
yeah. And I don't,
They just can't touch it.
and you know me, I don't do the whole goat thing. That's just not what I do. I just it's too many variables.
Yeah. No doubt.
But to look at what this level of sustained greatness, he hasn't averaged he hasn't averaged less than 22, 23 points a game
Whole career, right?
since his rookie season.
Yeah.
That's remarkable, man. I don't care. So, yeah, if I think Michael Jordan's peaks were higher, his peaks were higher than LeBron's, but just the overall level of we saw a huge drop off. I don't want to say a huge drop off. He averaged 19, 20 points a game in Washington, but he was clearly not the same guy.
Oh,
He was
sure.
clearly.
Well, I mean, and as good as LeBron is, he not the same person either. He ain't jumping out
But
the
the
building
other
no
night
more.
he put up 38 and
Oh, did 2 nights in a row. He had
yeah,
30
and
something.
it's just like
Ridiculous.
what are you doing, man? What
30. I think it was 38 and 32.
yeah,
Something.
it's like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just a phenomenal athlete, man. And
Well,
he's
and again, those type people only come around.
Yeah.
every 20 to 30
The
years.
game, I think what people say when Jordan the game, you're going to even all the haters, y'all ain't gonna have nothing to talk about with this. What's coming after him in this era of NBA?
Yeah,
I don't see it, man.
yeah.
When the Stephs and the
Well,
KDs,
you're gonna
I don't
always
see it.
have people that hate on a person that's done well,
Well, I
right?
mean, it's profitable to hate on on LeBron. You
Well,
you
because
you.
as sustained and great as Jeter was, people hate on him.
Well, but it's different. Here's what I think: two things with LeBron. The reason why he's hated on to the degree that he's hated on. Number one, he's the first player in the NBA, even with Kobe. He's the first player who made a legitimate case to threaten Michael Jordan's GOAT status. You got a lot of people. It's not to the it's not the I think Michael Jordan to a lot of people will always be the GOAT, but there was no number two. There was no other and now it's just like you have a number of people, including former basketball players. Oh no, LeBron James is the greatest of all time. And I think I think Jordan has such a godlike status with his fans to where it just offends them greatly that anyone would even dare call somebody else the greatest of all time.
And here's the thing. Apparently people must have forgot, but why do they have a problem with that? Uh, and remember in the 90s, every time somebody came out, they could, oh, this is the next Jordan. So how can you be so crazy about finding the next, but nobody can be better?
Well, two reasons,
Simple.
two things I would say to that. Number one, nobody ever. I mean, you can say Kobe was kind of like diet Michael Jordan.
Well,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
because he
saying?
copied everything the guy did.
Michael Jordan light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But nobody ever really. And here's nobody really can. I remember they call Harold Miner Baby Jordan.
Yeah, he
Just,
called him
just,
Baby Jordan.
just
Just because he could dunk, though. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, just ridiculous. But I think so. Nobody ever really came close to doing that, so it was okay. But LeBron actually is the first major threat to that. That's why they move the goalposts all the time. Whenever LeBron reaches a milestone, oh, they just change the argument and make it something else
Yeah,
in
everything.
order to
Oh, he
keep.
made more. This. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not my fault that they have more games.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, y'all say he did it on more. He took in more games, but he did it on less shots. So
Right.
there's always a caveat.
There's always a caveat to
There's
the
always a
point.
caveat. He did it with
Yeah.
less shots.
Yeah. No, it's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? So that ought to count, but that ain't good enough. Whenever you have a counter argument against a Jordan. A stronghold. They just gonna take the goalposts, move them. I asked somebody. I say, when did we start counting rings? We didn't count them when Jordan played.
Right.
We didn't.
Cause
I said,
what you can't count rings, because if you count rings, then Bill Russell is the
well,
greatest of
that's
all
what I'm
time.
saying. So now why is it when I said, tell me, I was talking. I said, tell me who was Michael Jordan required to pass in the ring count in order to be called the GOAT? Who? Y'all act like he got the most rings. He don't.
Right.
He don't have the most rings. He's not the
Well, I
all-time
guess
leading scorer.
what was added to his case is that he never lost in the
I
championship.
don't care, but he lost. That's such a bogus argument. Michael Jordan won 6 champion. He played 15 seasons and won
Yeah.
6 championships. That means 9 out of the 15
But
seasons that he
John, he
played.
never he
He
never lost in the
so
finals.
so it's so okay. So apparently it's better to lose before the finals than it is to lose in the finals. Is that
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we
because
saying?
once you become a champion, you're a champion.
No, but I'm saying no. What I'm saying is that so a second round loss is somehow better than a finals loss.
No, it shouldn't be.
It
But
is, but that's
but
what I'm
but
saying.
again, he every time he got to the finals, he won, so that makes him
But
great.
what do we? So what are we saying about the years that he wasn't good enough to get to the final? Though we don't count.
It
So
wasn't his
we
fault.
don't count
It
those
wasn't.
losses.
It wasn't his fault. It was the team wasn't as good.
Okay, so but it's his. But he gets all the credit when they win. But
Correct.
it's the team. But do you? This is what I'm saying. They constantly move the goalposts because it's what they were. You old enough. You older than me. You old enough to remember. They were calling Michael Jordan the GOAT before he even retired. Before he after his third ring against Phoenix, they were calling him the GOAT. Magic was still in the.
They may have been calling him before that.
But I'm saying he had Magic was still in the ring in the league with 5 rings. He didn't come close to passing Magic before they come.
But
So
the thing is, after after the what's her name, it got really crazy. The '92 Olympics.
yeah, I'm saying, but we hold the problem that I have that we hold LeBron James to standards that we never held Michael Jordan to.
Yeah,
We never looked at Michael Jordan and said, you gotta pass this player in rings in order to Magic had 5. He hadn't come to
five,
get
and he won 5. And how many did he lose? 4.
4.
Right.
So he
So
went nine,
he
nine
went
times.
9 times. Right.
That's my point. With it's okay. People point out Jordan's 6-0 record like he only played 6 years in the league. He
Yeah.
played 15 years. That means 9 out of the 15 years he lost. But because those losses came before the finals, somehow we get to pretend that those losses don't exist.
Well, what's funny to me, John, is that
Crazy.
uh when people mention like their top 10 or top 10 NBA people all the time, why I wouldn't do it, but why do people forget about Larry Bird?
Cause there is listen, man, and you talking about an assassin.
Oh,
You talking about, but I just this is what I don't have a problem. This is why, and I'm not sitting here trying to make a case for for LeBron James being the GOAT. I don't think you can call any player the
the
greatest of
GOAT.
all time. I
Okay.
think the most you can say about anybody is that they were the greatest of their time, of the time
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they
but that
played.
makes sense.
But to say because you a player dominated his era that means he would dominate every era of basketball? No, I
Right. If
can't
he's
say that.
of all time,
Yeah,
yeah.
different rules, different plan. It was a look at today's game. It's a completely different game from when Michael Jordan. There's no reason. There's no. I mean, we can speculate all you want. That's fine. I don't have a problem with people's opinion. But when it comes to Michael Jordan, opinion all of a sudden becomes fact. And it's like, no, it's an opinion. It's not a fact that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. It's an opinion. And I'm fine with that if you
I
understand what an opinion is.
I saw this clip. I meant to send it to you. I know you would have loved it. You would have loved it. It was Isaiah Thomas, and they was asking him about uh the Pistons defense,
Mm-hmm.
and they asked him, well, how would your defense fare now? Isaiah said, are you kidding me? He go teams would be getting 100 points. over 100. He
If
said
they would have
because
been allowed to play their style
no,
of play,
he
absolutely.
even he said he said with the rules now, he said still they want to get 100 on us. He said he said because Dumars could cover uh all the guards, man up. He didn't and even then it didn't matter if he couldn't touch you because he could guard you, right? He said
Hmm.
Rodman could cover 3 or 4 spots, right? And he goes, so doesn't matter. He said back then we could hit you. He go, we can't hit you, but we still could guard you. He says Sally could cover 3 positions, right? He said,
Hmm.
so you're not going to get 100 on us. And he go, and then the fact that you can't touch us, I'm at the rim all night. He said,
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting. I wish there was a way that we could prove it on the court, but for unfortunately we can't. Which is why it's never. It's speculation is one thing. That's fine. Speculate
well,
all you want, but
what
it's not fact. It's not
one
fact.
thing I love about sports outside of the games itself is the opinions and the
Yeah,
conversation it
we
creates.
can. Yeah, it's a great conversation starter. I get that. I'm fine with that. But it's foolish to think. To me, it is anyway. It's ridiculous to think that because you were great in this era, then that means that you would be as just as great in every era of basketball. That's a stretch. And but apparently when it comes to Jordan, it's just a fact and just accept it because it's a fact. And that's why I have such a problem with the whole conversation, let alone the fact of what he did and said against the Pistons with the 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 supreme accommodations that David Stern made on his behalf. You literally
Well,
changed an entire set of rules to benefit one player. You changed a whole set of rules to benefit one
yeah.
player.
Well, and now you got now you can't touch nobody.
Now you
You
can't.
breathe on them,
So
boy.
if you wanna attribute this soft era to anybody, go back to him because he the one that got the rules changed. Oh, they're hurting me. Man, shut up. That was the whole. Did you watch that game when Robert Parrish two put a double combo.
I just saw the what's the name clip the other day too. The Carmelo elbow.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
got put 20 something stitches in on Isaiah Thomas' head.
You talking about a non-basketball move.
Right, Kurt Rambis got clothesline
But you
going
know
to
what
the basket.
John, you know what I noticed though on that clip? Only one piston got mad. That was Jimmy Walker, I
That's
think it
my
was.
point because that was the game back then. That was how the
Yeah.
game was played.
That wasn't a basketball move. The whole bench. Only Chuck Daly and Walker got up off the bench for
But
that.
there were certain rules to. I mean, right now you doggone have the police on the floor. Um, if that happened today, but I'm just saying it was. If I think the reason why the Pistons, and yeah, I mean, full disclosure, I
But
am from
let's be
Detroit.
honest,
I am a
it was
Pistons
because
fan.
it was the Pistons and it was Isaiah.
No, it was because it was Jordan. The only reason the Pistons is stood out more than any other team for their rough, tough, tumble play is not that they played any more rough than anybody else, but the reason why it stood out more with the Pistons was because of who they were playing. It was Jordan. Do you answer me this? If they would have beaten Charles Barkley and the 76ers in the same manner 3 straight years that they beat the Bulls, would we be still talking about it 30 years later?
We probably be talking about the brawl that would have ensued.
No, but what I'm saying is that
Barkley would have took that punishment like that.
no, probably not. But what I'm saying is that everything got magnified because it was Jordan.
Well, I
It's
mean, that was their gold piece at that
Yeah,
time.
he was their goose. That he was
Well,
David
and here
Stern's goose that
here's
laid
the
the gold
thing.
net.
It's how it comes down to how we receive the gold piece, right? Uh your gold piece now, which should be celebrated, is LeBron, but he's never been celebrated in that manner. Only when he came into the league, right? But then after that, he's been kicked to the curb and
Well,
he's done
no,
nothing else. He's done
but
nothing but
his
been good for the league.
LeBron's crime is the fact that he said, "I want to be the greatest of all time." That
Yeah,
was his
he said
crime
it.
because the Jordan fans was like, "How dare you let those words come out of your mouth? How dare you?" Do you know that it is a known fact that Michael Jordan will forever be the GOAT? How dare you? No, I never heard
Well,
Kobe say,
and like I say, it all is how the perception and how, because really nobody talked to how much they loved Kobe until after he died.
yeah,
Let's be
I mean,
honest.
but this is how this is what I mean. This is how we move the goalposts whenever there's information that is presented that we don't like. Never in did anybody even mention to Michael Jordan while he was playing, well, if you don't get this many number of rings, you can't be considered to go. But now that somebody has come along and has threatened Michael Jordan's status, we create all of these standards that we never created for him, by the way. We create all of these standards in order to keep him at this. Oh, well, if he don't get six, then who did you say that about Jordan?
Right,
Nobody. If he don't get
right. Because
six,
they've made him the standard bearer, right?
exactly. They want to keep him on that pedestal. So whatever standard they gotta create to keep him on that pedestal, that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. And so that's why to me it's such a nonsensical argument because people can cherry pick whatever information they want to cherry pick, leave out whatever information they want to leave out, exclude whatever information they want to exclude in order to keep their narrative going. It was a narrative. Jordan was great, yes, but he had a lot of help from the league in becoming the player that he became. A whole lot. And David Stern,
But
look,
what?
David Stern was trying to take the game global, which is why professional players was allowed to
He
be in the
sure did
Olympics.
it.
And
Took it
he
global, and
need,
now the
but
game is
he,
played
but he
internationally.
needed at the time he needed his biggest star on the biggest
Yeah,
stage, and he was
sure.
not about to let this little team from Detroit keep getting in the way. He
Well, and
neutralized
you
them.
got and not only that, you've gotta throw Gatorade in there as well as
Yeah,
Nike
all
and
these
and
sponsors.
and put them up. Oh yeah,
Look,
yeah.
man, I can see Gatorade and
Today
Nike
I
going.
dream.
I can see
He is
Gatorade
me.
and Nike going to David Stern and be like, "Look, man, we invested a lot of money in this cat.
Hey, today I
We need
dream.
we need him on the biggest thing, on the biggest
Today
stage."
I dream. He is me.
Exactly. That ad goes nowhere if he's not on TV, if he's not in the
Oh no,
finals.
no doubt about it.
So they
There's
made
no
accommodate.
doubt
He got look at the
about
ref. I have watched Michael Jordan literally curse refs out, and
well
they
that
wouldn't
that
call a tech.
but that's the killer instinct in him,
But they wouldn't.
right?
They would not call a tech, and he would literally curse them out and wouldn't get thrown out of the game or wouldn't call. Has he ever been ejected? If has he ever been ejected?
I don't know. We had to
I
we
don't
had to
think so.
Google that. Find out.
So
We'll have that for you on our next program. Has he ever
I'll
did
get off
Mike
my
ever get
soapbox
ejected?
now.
Well, it's time to go.
Football
John,
time.
I'm still sure he's got stuff on his chest, but that's good. We want
Oh,
to
brother,
we
I
want to
got
keep that chest full up.
We'll
All right.
we'll we'll
So
save it for next week.
enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the playoffs today, tomorrow, and Monday. We'll be back again on next Saturday, good Lord willing, here on Sports Chat. John, we love you.
Peace, my friend. I'll
Go,
see you in March. I'll see
go,
you in
go,
March.
go Buckeyes.
You just had to do it, didn't you? You just